Hello, Musto0063 here to continue on with the Mega Man Let's Play Perfect Runs with one of my absolute favourite games in the classic series, Mega Man 5. 20XX AD. A vicious army of robots is bent on destroying the world. And behind this destruction is... no. Proto Man? Kamenia 2 boss rush music flashback. Unpleasant memories aside, yeah, I love Mega Man 5. Don't completely know why it seems to be low down on almost everyone's favourite list. I can come up with a few possible explanations, but none of those ring true to me. So I hope that I get the opportunity, probably not until the last part admittedly, to talk about the reasons why I love this game. Here are 8 brand new Robot Masters, and since, as always, I'm tackling the Let's Play in perfect run order, I'll be going after the one whose stage I thought would be the easiest to actually perfect run. So first up is Gravity Man. And we start out with one of the most interesting, well, to me anyway, stages of the game. Mostly because we're going to be spending quite a lot of time upside down. And here we go. It's an interesting gimmick for a Mega Man game, presumably meant to disorientate you, but it really doesn't take too long to get used to. Your left and right controls don't even reverse or anything, so it winds up being fun more than anything. Must go after Lucky Charm. Now this screen has a few chains to get by, but they're nothing to write home about. Only the spike on the end of the chain will actually hurt you, so you're fine to walk through the chain itself, as you can see. The Nobita enemies walk along the floor, or ceiling, and extend upwards, or downwards, but they're extremely non-threatening. They don't shoot at you, so the only way they'd ever hit you is if you walk into them, or stand directly above or below them, and wait for them to spike you. So don't do either of those things, and you'll be just fine. Now these bee-bitters only become a threat when you get sufficiently close to them, and even then they take a little time before they actually attack, so you have tons of time to destroy them first. Now you can kill them before they do anything if you hit their base, much like I eventually demonstrate here. But the first big threat, and I do mean big, is Power Muscler. The Big Eye Sniper Armour, Bicky Jumbie equivalent of Mega Man 5. And for this one, hand back under the lower ceiling, but not so far back that you'll accidentally scroll another one onto the screen. Then just pummel away, and he won't get you if you remain under the low ceiling. Fun with gravity switching are the bottomless pits, just don't leave yourself with too much of a jump to make, and that goes for when you're right side up and upside down. You'll notice the letter M here, you'll want to grab that. There's one of these letters, well, one of the number, in each of the 8 stages, and I'll reveal what you get for collecting all 8 during the 8th Robot Master stage. Be a bit careful going through this area, and you may have seen that some of the enemies flip up and down to match Mega Man, so don't think you can cleverly walk by everything. Now for this screen, I'd recommend hanging on the bottom, or was it the top, of this ladder and taking out the first of the 2 Pukapelli. Then drop off the ladder once you've lured the second one up to where you are. These things are deceptively hard to hit, despite how easy I may have made that look. Trust me, I got a bit lucky. But I didn't have to turn around and kill it, so it's not like I was in any danger of taking a hit. So we enter Gravity Man's lair upside down. And much like the stage, the boss fight is spent flipping up and down. As you can see, Gravity Man's main method of attack is actually to try to ram into you when he reverses the gravity. The trick there is obviously not to be directly under or above him when he does. He also occasionally fires a single pellet shot towards you, and that can be a little tricky to dodge, especially if you're quite close to him. The best bet is to try to leave some good distance between you and Gravity Man, and that will hopefully allow you, if indeed it's necessary, the time to dodge the pellet shot. Now in terms of hitting him, you ideally want to time your shots so that you fire straight away after you feel the gravity reversing. So by the time Gravity Man reaches the floor or ceiling, he lands right on one of those shots. First time you fight him, you might find it takes a while to get the hang of the timing, but once you do, he's pretty much a pushover. And I gotta say, from my perspective, I had a lot of practice on this guy while I was playing I Wanna Kill the Kamenia 2. And I nearly screwed up the end there. So, as always, a new weapon get animation. And a new you got such and such ability screen. And on this occasion, it's Gravity Hold. activated and small enemies float upwards and off screen. Also works on larger enemies if they're already low on health. Can be very amusing, particularly if you pull it off on a Power Muscler. And in case you missed it, that was another accidental perfect run during Let's Play, to go alongside Guts, Heat, Top and Skull. So still one per game, not including Wily Wars. Certainly justified my original decision to tackle Gravity Man first, I think. So, not strictly necessary, although I will talk a bit more about the game mechanics on this occasion. Here's the black and white original. Okay, so as usual, I will be pointing out where the trouble spots were, as I don't, unfortunately, as always, have actual outtakes to be able to show you. But this time around, as it's the first stage in Mega Man 5, I will talk about the game mechanics and such. All the problem areas happen to be toward the end of the stage as well, so otherwise I'd have little to talk about up front. So, as I'm whizzing through the screens, game mechanics. Pretty much identical to Mega Man 4. Mega Man can slide, and he still also has the Chargeable Buster to deal extra damage if you so wish. The Chargeable Buster that I am not permitted to use on perfect run attempts, nor do I really like using all that much if I were just playing the game normally anyway. It's just not my style of play, and the accompanying screeching noise can get very annoying very quickly. So once again, your ears are welcome. Okay, so here's where I screwed up on my first attempt. I stood too far back to the left after killing the Power Muscler, scrolled another one map on screen, got flustered, and careered straight into him. So yeah, like I said during the Let's Play version, you can stand vertically under where the low ceiling is about to end and be perfectly fine. So I thoroughly recommend doing that. And next screw up came on this screen where I forgot that stun enemies do flip with Mega Man, and so having not paid attention, I walked straight into this enemy. Wonderful! Now as we're approaching it, the remaining two failures both came on the screen with the Pukapelli. I dropped off the loud too early and ended up having to take out both in order to progress. As I said previously, they are deceptively hard to hit. First time I was confident I could just drop down, and that ended badly. Second time I was still pretty confident, thinking I just made a closet mess of things the previous occasion. But after two embarrassments, I thought, fine, I'll take it slow if that's what you want. Much the preferred option. So with no outtakes on the Robot Master, what else to talk about? Well, Gravity Man will always move the same way every time you fight him. He'll shoot the pellet shot at you differently, that depends on where you are on screen at the time. But as for where he'll walk or jump to in between reverse and gravity, that's all fixed. Now we started the fight in the bottom right corner of the screen, so let's watch his pattern from there. Starting now. Flip, walk to middle, flip, walk to left, flip, jump to right, flip, jump to left, flip, walk to middle, flip, walk to right. And then the pattern repeats. So if you can memorise that pattern, and believe me, I have, then you can quickly work out where you can position yourself on screen so as to be far enough away from Gravity Man that he won't crash into you, nor will you be close enough to him that dodging his pellet shots becomes a problem. The fight can be a patience thing. I find quite a lot of the time that even when I fire 3 pellet shots, he somehow seems to fit in between them when he lands, so that drags the fight out a little bit longer. But once you know his pattern, there isn't anything he does that should catch you out, so be patient and you should be fine. I said it for Top, and I'll say it for Gravity. You're pretty easy, aren't you? Can't you give me just a little bit more of a chat? You know what? No, scrap that. Forget I said anything. No, I take it all back. I was only kidding. No! So before getting started on difficulty analysis, this being the first video of this Let's Play, I have to make mention once again to the awesome 16-bit remixes by Mixer Productions. I strongly urge you to listen to the full versions. And in case you're wondering, that wasn't the successful run for my I Wanna Kill the Chameleon 2 playthrough. Yep, that's right. I went back to beat that boss again. All for you, my loyal viewers. You are welcome. And for a real challenge, check out the original version from I Wanna Be the Popularity, where he has another phase and you apparently don't get a checkpoint between phases. Jeez. Thankfully, back in the realm of Mega Man 5, Gravity Man is much, much easier. Perfection was achieved in around 15 minutes, and on reflection, that seems way longer than it should have been. Especially with only 4 outtakes. But I did mention during the perfect run that all the failures came right at the end of the stage. The first couple of attempts I was also a bit slower, as I couldn't remember absolutely everything about the stage. It probably took around 2.5 to 3 minutes or so before I screwed up, so adding in another 2 failed runs and the successful one is where the 15 minutes accumulates. 4 outtakes would indicate a pretty straightforward stage, and that's the way it worked out. An accidental perfect run during the Let's Play also bears that out. My failures were all pretty much down to clumsiness or not appreciating certain things, like a safe positioning for dealing with the Power Muscler, or forgetting certain enemies are affected by the gravity switching, or a better technique for getting by the Pukapilli. Now I know all 3 of these, and I'm unlikely to forget them anytime soon. I'd be disappointed not to get a perfect run if I were replaying the stage. Suffice to say, at the time, not sure I would be now, I was quite happy with how the stage went. And thus, the 1 out of 10 Club welcomes its 6th member. Gravity joins Heat, Top, Magnet, Hyperstorm H and Toad. It's a very easy stage with hardly any tricky sections to get by. The gravity switching, while has the potential to be disorientating, really isn't, and as I said, it's more fun than anything else. The Roadmaster is also one of the easiest in the game. Not that that's saying much. Most of the Robot Masters in Mega Man 5 are relatively easy. But anyways, Gravity only scores 1 out of 10 from me. As well as being quite easy, the Gravity stage is also quite short, unlike the next level I'll be tackling. Stone me, the next one is going to be long. But until next time, cheerio.